Welcome to the 2024 Golden Bear Showcase here at the Saville Centre. It's the St. Francis Xavier Rams tipping off against the Strathcona Lords. Hello everyone, and welcome inside the gymnasium. Connor Toffin joined by Eric Fawcett on this IC Live Procast. Just seen a great game between the Spartans and the Titans. Spartans ended up pulling away a little late with some good basketball here in general. Eric, this is a big event for these players to be playing in today.
Yeah, a really big opportunity to play in front of a lot of family and friends, of course some of the University of Alberta players and coaches, and everyone watching here on Telus TV and online. So yeah, it's a great opportunity. You see players that really show a lot of enthusiasm. They're really showing a lot of enthusiasm in warm-up. You can also see the way that these coaches are coaching. They take it seriously as well. And yeah, so we already saw one great game, and we're in for another treat.
We'll throw it quickly to the in-house announcer for player introductions, and then tip-off from the Saville.
Richardson. We have number 13, Alexander Popovich. And number 15, Ben Bowen. And from the Strathcona Lords, we have number 1, Daniel Melnichuk. We have number 2, Jamal Jarrett. We have number 5, Daniel Jang. Number 10, Owen Gaterzi. And number 12, Amir Kulavach.
Two programs that have had some recent success. St. FX winning a city championship just last year. The year prior, the Lords won the city championship and then also went on to win provincials. So should be a good game between these two squads tonight. We're expecting, and obviously we don't know, Eric, what these squads are made of quite yet, but we're expecting that the Rams this year are going to be pretty good. So it'll be great to have an early season look at one of the teams that's sure to be in the mix near the end. As we are underway from the Saville Centre, Rams will win the opening tip as Elijah Thomas will start this game out for the Rams. Thomas, couple picks, throws it out to the corner. Popovich, corner 3 taken. Richardson just missing, but an offensive rebound for Toby. Slashing in is Elijah Thomas. FX strikes first.
First of many mentions for Eli Thomas tonight, someone who a lot of people think is one of the best point guards in the city, and you saw why there. You see that burst and finishing at the rim.
These two teams have faced off already this year in the St. FX tournament last weekend. In the semifinal, St. FX won that game. And Strathcona making some adjustments throughout practice during the week, have been ready for this matchup for about the past 7 days. Quick handoffs up top. Richardson slashing in, has it poked away. Lords trying to take over. Ball deflected up into the air before it's taken by Zhang. Corner 3 is open, and it's in. Early look for Kulavach.
That smooth left-hand stroke. When they can find him in the corner, he's dangerous.
Richardson calling out the offense. Popovich down low, tried to give it away to Bowen, and it got tipped out by a Lord.
See, when you're double teaming the post there, you need that guard to crack down. A really good job connected there by Skona to knock that away.
Three-pointer just misses. Toby with his first attempt of the game. We're trying to give it into the corner. Rams take over. Here's Bowen the other way. Quickly gives it up to Popovich. Here's an open 3 for the Rams. And it just misses. Toby with back-to-back misses. The other way come the Lords. Shot is up, and that one will miss as well off the hands of Gatorezzi, and the whistle's blown.
Here we see a ball being exchanged as the rock went out of bounds right by all of Skona's other balls. They make a switch, quick quick change. A couple guys were bobbling it on the first possession. We'll see if this helps them out.
Popovich finding an opening and lays it in.
Such an impactful player as the, functionally playing the center position there, but the ability to drive and spin in the lane there.
Popovich, the second-year senior at FX, U17 Team Alberta member. And you just see with that size that Popovich has, he's already shown off a little bit of the skill as well. If the Rams are going to make a run for it this year, you would figure that Popovich might be right at the center of it. Here's Jamal Jarrett. Quickly goes to Gaderetsi. Down low, laying it in is Kulovac.
See, that's kind of old school Princeton offense look. Dane Owen, the head coach for Strathcona, known as one of the best coaches in the city, and you can see a little bit why there. That was old school Princeton action to get that back cut.
There's another attempt for the Rams. Looked like Popovich got hands on the rebound. Ended up in the arms of Bowen before the Lords took it away. Quick bounce pass down low. Now a kick out. Jarrett. Hand off to Jang. Quick jab step. Going nowhere with Richardson in coverage. They'll go back up to Jang. And there was a bit of a wall built there by Toby, but he ended up picking up the foul. Good perimeter defense there by the Rams. Just no room for the Lords until the foul.
I thought that was pretty good defense from Toby. Took an off arm right to the chest, but again, just going to get set on the sideline. We get to see a little bit more of this defense here from St. FX.
Bowen took it away, and then it went off the hands of Johnson, diving for it. Rams come up with it, but a travel called as Bowen was rolling around on the ground. Looking back to the Titans and Spartans, if you got to look at that one, both of the first and second half started off just frantic, just turnovers, threes, eventually settled into some dunks in the second quarter for the Spartans. And this one feels a little bit less frantic, a little more organized. And I wonder, Eric, how much of that has to do with these teams playing each other so recently?
Oh, I think so, and I think it does speak a little bit to these two coaches and the way they want to play. Mentioned Dane Owen before and Brad Farish there for St. FX. Both guys who are great coaches who want to play a little bit more structured, and we're seeing them right away getting into a lot of their actions and getting into their sets. A little bit more mismatch hunting in the first game of the night, and now we're settling into a little bit more structure. And while the scoring has been low, it's has certainly not been due to sloppy play by any means.
Gaderetsi picked up the offensive rebound, got fouled. That is the Rams' third foul of the half. Something to look out for. Strong move down low by Kulovac.
Kulovac, really nice move there. He gets that bump to create that space for that easy jump hook. That was real nice.
Quick move by Elijah Thomas. They swing it up to Johnson, misses the three. Jarrett comes down with the board. Lords going the other way. It's fumbled around and taken over by the Rams in transition. Long Hail Mary pass, no good. Rams able to keep possession. Arcega to the net, banks it in.
Yeah, really a broken play where Strathcona was just tipping everything around, but ends up with a great play there from Arciaga.
Jarrett finding some space, strong to the net. Oh, Jarrett took a hard fall as the contact came from Bachu, and Jarrett is slow to get up. Let's take a look on the replay.
Yeah, a bit of a dangerous play. Wow, flat on his back. We heard it up here. I mean, first, just an incredible play by him. You rejected that ball screen and took off like a rocket, so that help was a little bit late and slid under him as he was in the air, which you never want to see. But now he's standing up and looking to be walking to the bench. You just hope that, while it doesn't feel good, you hope a little bit more of that contact was on his back versus his head. And
we do see Jarrett kind of holding the side or back of his head, maybe just a little bit. So obviously concern here for Jamal Jarrett. Never something that you want to see at any point of the season. It'll be Panesar in to take his free throws. Good to see him, though, able to get up and walk off the court.
Yeah, conversation with the assistant right now, and it's pretty scary to land like that. That's what the worst feeling in basketball is, getting undercut. So just opportunity to wind down and make sure that there's no damage done.
Panesar 1 for 2 from the line. Move it around to Mbachu. Corner 3. Won't go. And Panesar comes down with a rebound. Lords kick out to Jang, and the whistle's blown. And Jang stepped out of bounds. Here's Elijah Thomas. Thomas spinning up near the free throw line. Contested lay-in is good. Rams knotting it up at 8 here early. Panesar. Quick dish down to Kulovac. Panesar came up with it. Went for the pass in the paint, got intercepted. Johnson to the net, and he'll get fouled. And we'll head to the line for 2.
Lords foul number 10, Owen, his first personal foul of the game.
So that contact right across the arms. Just kind of taking a look down at the Lords bench here. Looks like they're bringing an ice pack over towards Jarrett, just kind of holding it on the back of his neck. And, you know, obviously you take a fall like that, you're going to get banged up. Obviously the hope there is nothing long-term and hoping that it's away from the head, and it's...
Yes, it's nice to see ice on his back and neck versus head. And
so obviously still shaken up, but maybe some good initial signs. And, you know, the other good thing there is he never lost consciousness as well. Obviously it's such a dangerous play when you're going back first from that high in the air. At least to our eyes, didn't look like he did. There's a couple free throws here for Panesar, who came off the bench for Jarrett.
And if you missed our opening game of the doubleheader, I mean, both teams really struggled to shoot free throws. And now I think as a game, both teams maybe 5 or 6 in a row missed. So we're looking to maybe have some of the same issues as well as these players adjust to a new gym. And again, a very different depth perception than you're used to at the high school level with these big, expansive bleachers on both baselines here at the Saville Centre.
Yes, just kind of take people through it, Eric. You know, these kids are used to playing in their high school gyms where the walls, you know, there might only be, there's a huge block over the middle and another hard fall from Elijah Thomas, but he'll get up quickly. Good to see.
Yeah, you normally see, you know, seating bleachers on 1 or 2 sides. We've got a couple gyms in Edmonton that would have baseline seating, but generally speaking, when you look at the baseline of a high school gym, maybe 8 to 12 feet away, you're going to have a wall, and usually that wall is, you know, white or cream colored, and that's a beautiful backdrop as a shooter.
Right.
Here, instead, you've got these, you know, 20 feet back, and then you've got bleachers, you know, 15 rows of them, and it's very different. It's lit different. It's very bright, which is great for our broadcast here, of course. But you think about a lot of these high school gyms a little bit darker, and yeah, just a change overall for these guys who are presumably a little bit affected, at least when it comes to shooting free throws.
Timeout called on the floor, so Lords sticking with the Rams here early. Just a 1-point difference in this game. Rams leading 9-8. Had 2 established programs in the last game with the Titans and the Spartans. 2 established ones going at it here as well. As we mentioned, both with very recent success. Teams sharing a couple Metro City championships in the last couple of years. The Lords in 2023, the Rams last year. And you know, in high school basketball, it's kind of fun because it's so tough to maintain success year after year after year? And Eric, there's just a lot of ebb and flow to it.
Oh yeah, there is. So whenever you see a team that has, year over year success for a big stretch, I think it's so impressive. I mean, we're of course looking at some of the senior varsity teams here, but both of them have really benefited from having really good junior varsity programs, just like we saw in the first game as well, where with two teams that have really good junior varsity programs, and that's what you really need to compete at this level with these big 4A schools here in Edmonton. You've got to have the pipeline, and then we do have a lot of schools here. While St. FX particularly here has some talented grade 10s, we saw some talented grade 10s in the opening game. I mean, you need the a lot of these teams are really old, and it's guys that developed at the younger level before turning into better players and more experienced guys as 11th and 12th graders.
Thomas went 1 for 2 at the free throw line, but the Rams with it back again. Thomas in the corner. Might have not been quite aware where that sideline was as he steps out of bounds as he was looking to drive. St. FX will bring in some subs. 3:15 left to go here in this first quarter. Here's Dhaliwal. Up to the wing. Down low into the post. Quick pass in the paint is up and no good as Kulovac was looking to connect with the right hook shot. Strong attempt down low. And the ball goes out of bounds.
Points at a premium right now as both teams are struggling to get open looks. I do think it might be something that goes back to what you mentioned before. These teams that have already seen each other, they seem to both know their tendencies and be familiar with the guys on the scout. As we see another steal, and we'll see if Skona can turn this into something. But yeah, points right now, difficult to come by.
Lords miss. So I have seen now Jamal Jarrett has left the bench and gone to the locker room. So that'll probably be the last update, unless we do somehow see him come back at some point. But obviously after that scary fall, the concern more so on the long-term health of the players. So we'll hope that Jarrett is okay as the foul's called.
Fouls on number 11, Eli Johnson, his first foul.
Goal against Johnson.
Subs for the Rams, number 15, Ben Bowen.
And free throw shooting has been a challenge for everyone in the gym tonight. See if we can get 2 knocked down here. First one looks pure. I'm still waiting for a Connor. I think at some point we might see a 2 for 2, but
It's been tough.
It's tough out there. It's tough out there, but and again, that's why it's also a great experience for these guys to play in a new gym as well, and that's something that you might not play in another big one like this for provincial play or a tournament, but you'll play in some unfamiliar gyms. What a finish there.
And
taking contact, staying balanced, and finishing.
1. Lords looking for the three-point play as they take the lead back. Panesar with the big lay-in.
You see there as he contained the ball, he created contact, and then he tried to finish. If you try to do it all at once, that's how you lose the ball and go up unbalanced. But really good job to keep 2 hands on the basketball, take that contact, and then try to finish, and that's how you get and ones.
12-10 is the lead for the Lords. Arciaga stopped in the paint. Long range 3 is short out of the hands of Desingji. Quick pass to Dhaliwal in the corner. He'll be short as well. Bowen up top. Popovich. Quick handoff. We'll go back to Bowen again. Another kick up top. Arciaga. Pump fake and a shot, but it looks like it came after the shot clock. It already ended from Desingji.
Yeah, Strathcona just making them work. Just closeout after closeout. Forced a number of ball reversals, and then when they give up a shot at the rim, which they block well, it didn't even get off before the shot clock. So really good defense from a very disciplined Strathcona team.
Just over a minute to go here in this first quarter. A low-scoring one, just 12-10 is the lead for the Lords. Looking for more here. Mid-range jumper, no good from Melnichuk. And now a fight for the rebound. It will be a jump ball as possession arrow goes to the Lords. We'll get a fresh 24 as well.
This could be 14 here in the front court.
There we go.
Is.
We kind of started inbound. Strong post play as Micah Feta dropped his defender and finished it to give the Lords a 4-point lead. Tesfa Selassie moves it up to Popovich. Popovich, smooth shot with the right there, but couldn't quite finish. Half a minute left to go here in the first quarter. Lords have managed the pace of this game so far. Here's Panesar. Panesar up top, pulls up into the three, doesn't go. 15 seconds and the Rams could hold for last shot. Arciaga. Hesitation, pass, pump fake, and a foul called and one. Desingji puts it in.
You know, they wanted to hold for last shot, but then they get that backdoor cut, and it was too easy. They had to take it, and then really good balance to take that contact. Sometimes you'd see that called on the floor. They do give him the and one.
3.6 to go as Desingji finishes the three-point play. It'll be a long heave and nice little stat stuffer for Tesfa Selassie as he picks up the block to end the first quarter. Eric, a good one, just a 1-point game, and really yet to see things open up for either offense so far.
No, I mean, when you look at every single bucket, it's one that the offense has really had to work for at a high level. So nothing coming easy, and both coaches that really pride themselves on on what they do on the defensive end are, you know, they're showing why they are so successful there, making it really difficult. And again, it looks like both as we look in at both huddles, they're both thinking, okay, what are we going to do offensively to move that ball and get an open look?
Lords leading at 14-13 after 10 minutes of play. Welcome back to the Saville Centre. Lords and Rams doing battle 14-13 after one quarter of play. We would like to thank the Sport, Physical Activity and Recreation branch of the Ministry of Tourism and Sport with the Government of Alberta, who's the funding provider to the ASAA. The funds received from this area of the government are put towards enhancing the quality of life for Albertans. Connor Toffin and Eric Fawcett on the call of this IC Live Procast. Really tight first quarter. Rams will get the ball to start the second. Eric, Rams offense really just yet to get going. We've seen some signs. We've seen Popovich early and then kind of just a little stagnant there as the quarter went along.
Yeah, and again, they've got great individual players and they're playing well. I just think that it speaks to Strathcona's defense that's been so tight and don't make a lot of mistakes and make things difficult.
Able to pick up the defensive boards as well. Popovich able to pick up the first rebound, but not the second. Here's a three from Dallawal, won't go. Toby. Quick give to Thomas. Toby. Pass bounced off the bottom of the backboard and into the hands of the Lords. Strong move to the net. That was Micah Feta again. Seen him a couple times down low. We've seen him really back down his defender early. He's a strong player.
Yeah, and just about 50 seconds into the first or into this quarter, it's a quick timeout here for St. FX. Not happy with how they executed, and again they got punished for it with 2 points on the other end. And a game when offense is so tough to come by, those points in transition can be a big differentiating factor. So again, we're seeing Brad Farish here on the St. FX sideline really driving home what they're trying to do defensively, and it's definitely getting that ball inside to Popovich, and we saw them try to do it on their first possession of the game. The catch was pushed out a little far, and it turned into a little bit of a chaotic possession. They really want to establish him. He's a great mismatch on the inside.
Seems like the Rams do have the size advantage in this game. Of course, I say that, like I said, just after Micah Feta just made a strong move at the net again, but it's a bit of a height advantage for the Rams, but the Lords so far have been pretty solid on the defensive boards.
Yeah, when you noted that earlier, I thought that's why it was so notable, the fact that you might have thought that the Rams would be kind of controlling things and getting a lot of second chance opportunities. And to me, I think that also just speaks to the positioning of Strathcona. Like, they just don't get into scrambled defensive possessions. They don't get into fly-by closeouts. Like, you stay on the right side of your man, you're also going to stay in pretty good box-out position when the shot goes up. So I see it as a bit of an extension of their defense that I think has been really good so far.
Well-coached defense from Dane Owen.
So again, here's them trying to use Popovich right away. They run a flex screen. But there's where you think, Strathcona knows exactly what St. FX is trying to do after playing them already. We saw the first play of this quarter from St. FX was to try to get Popovich the ball. They run a very similar flex screen to try to get the ball into him, and Strathcona just instantly double teams, and that's why it's not just so easy. Sometimes it's a challenge to throw that ball into your big, even if that player is a dominant post player.
Pressuring Panesar up high. Toby on defense. Panesar got bumped, and the foul is going to go against the Rams. Second for Bowen. Rams got into a lot of foul trouble in that first half. Never really ended up paying for it too much, but obviously that foul number starts to climb up. It becomes that little bit harder to defend.
Yeah, we saw that in the first game when foul trouble and early bonus played a big role. So both coaches certainly don't want to be in that scenario today.
Pull up midi from Panesar is no good. Dallawal intercepts, and he had a couple of Rams in the area, so Thomas and Johnson will team up to get it right back.
Yeah, it's a great play by Dollywall to get that steal on his own, but the problem was there's no one with him. He was a one-man operation getting that steal. No one on his team realized he had the ball and put him in a tough spot, but still really good defense.
Nice find by Thomas, who got it to Toby in the corner. Missed the three. Popovich on the rebound, can't get it to go. Popovich still with it. Kicks it out to Richardson. His three, no good. Richardson with the rebound, a long one. Thomas, third try at it for the Rams. Thomas spinning, shooting. That one won't go, and the Lords finally pull down the rebound. Three chances, three misses for the Rams. Kick out by Melnichuk, moved it to Dhaliwal. He had it taken away by Johnson. Johnson throwing it over the middle as he was down on the ground. Gadaretsi intercepts at the rim, up with the right, and one. Mike Afeta once again.
Oh, it looks like they're going to call a three in the key, so that bucket will not count. Said he was chilling in the lane for just a little bit too long. You don't normally see a call like that on a little dump-off layout, but so that's a tough one for the Lords in a game that, we keep mentioning. Points are tough to come by.
So the lead stays 16-13, up with the left, no good. Looked like it was going to fall for Elijah Johnson, and that rim is just teasing them right now. There's a bit of a lid on it for the Rams. Quick dump in, and Gadaretsi lays it in.
That's a great cut by Gadaretsi on that middle penetration. Finds easy space around the rim, and nice finish on the reverse side.
This offense, they've had some open looks, but they've been missing their shots. Here's Thomas. Trying to spin away from Micah Feta. All over him. Toby driving in, draws the contact. He'll head to the line. And no good from Toby. Still yet to see that 2 for 2, I believe.
It's coming, I believe it. But again, just man, if this is an early season in a new gym, I don't know what is. And it's playing a role. You know, there's been you know, at least it's been both teams on, or you know, on both sides for both games now, where guys are struggling to get those free ones. But there's a reason we're sitting at 18-13 here, just a little bit entering the midway points of this second quarter.
Toby nearly stripped it away. Micah Feta won't get it to go. Richardson strong to the hoop. He misses, but it's Popovich cleaning it up.
Yeah, that's big for Popovich to get to see one through the rim, just because, again, it's been so difficult for him to get the ball. And St. FX is trying, but Scone is just really collapsing in and handling those flex screens well. So nice for him to get an easy one he didn't have to work for quite as hard.
Smooth moves up top by Panesar. And then eventually ran out of room as he got stopped up by the free throw line. Quick give to Thomas the other way. Thomas to the hoop. And cleaning up the rebound is Sam Richardson. Brings the Rams to within 1. Rams are 2 for their last 2. In this game, that's a run. Quick kick out, intercepted by Toby. Toby in a 1-on-2, has a man to his left. Toby takes it himself. Richardson. That wasn't a replay, folks. Another putback for Sam Richardson, the grade 12 guard.
Yeah, this is where things can get dangerous when St. FX gets in transition and is able to get those easy buckets. That's where Skona's really tight half-court defense can't do much for you. So let's see if they look for another one here before Skona can get set up.
Tough shot by Gadaretsi, won't go. And foul called on the floor. It should be before the shot here. And looks like the Lords are going to make a few subs here, as Jang, Kulovac, and Castillo come into the game.
This will be Elijah Thomas going to the line after the timeout, one that I'm feeling okay about to maybe see 2 makes. But again, I've loved his game so far. And again, we see in transition his ability to just keep his head up and get all the way to the rim.
So the lead 19-18 for the St. FX Rams. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of just in that same spot that we were the last time out. It's been not a ton of movement in this game. I think our biggest lead is like 4. We'll say it was 4, but unofficially. And neither team really yet to take control. What do these teams have to do to get some sort of momentum on their side?
Yeah, I think at this point we saw what they both came into the game kind of starting. We saw, again, the kind of like flex screen looks for St. FX. We saw a bunch of these Iverson entries being tried by Skona, and both those teams are getting blown up by opponents who have already seen each other and know to take it away. So this is where you got to go to your kind of second options here, and I'd love to see, again, things just getting a little bit, getting into it a little bit quicker in the possession, because we're also seeing some late clocks here when their initial action gets blown up, and then that's where you start to get guys running around and leaving their feet to maybe make bad passes. So again, we're seeing timeouts being used, so so these coaches are certainly working out there, trying to make something happen.
I guess you jinxed him. I'm going to blame that one on you.
I'm going to say the timeout iced him. You know, no announcer jinxed on this one. But again, it shows you just how hard points are to come by. And Eli Thomas, who's been great in a number of ways this game, doing everything. It's just even he's unable to make a free one fall.
I feel like these teams could have 8-9 more points each, and I think that'll be something that probably both of these coaches are going to be thinking about as they go into the locker rooms. I don't know if that's something you really emphasize, right? Here's a 3 and a miss by the Lords. Right, because it's not like you can tell the guys, hey, it's not a mental mistake, right? You just got to make them.
Well, and it's certainly not something you're going to start correcting someone's form here at halftime of an exhibition game. So that's a great pass, absolute laser there to the corner. There is a great look for St. FX, and you got to wonder if that'll start things to start falling for them in the half court.
St. FX on a little bit of a run now. I believe it's 8, maybe 10 points now for the Rams. They were trying to get it to a cutting Melnichuk, and they missed him. Rams ball. .417 to go in the second half. This feels like pretty much as much control as either team has really had in this game so far, as the Rams have been able to slow things down a little bit, and on cue, the Lords tip it away. It'll be taken in the backcourt by DeSingy. Comes forward, fast move to the hoop. Found a little bit of an opening there deep in the key and picks up the 2.
Yeah, that's tough for the Lords. They defended it well, but it kind of turned into a broken play. And sometimes when there's a broken play, you can give up those straight line drives, and Rams are lucky, but make things happen.
Castillo. Now it'll be Gatorezzi to the rim. He's looking for the and one. Won't pick that up, but we'll see if he can get his 2 points. Arciaga comes into the game for Thomas for the Rams. We got a chance here.
I have no comment.
What do you think is going to happen, Eric? Trying to bait you into it.
Oh, looks good. There it is.
There we go.
Love
2
the way
for
that
2.
left his hands. The best free throw shooter in the gym tonight, Gatorezzi. And who has really played a good game so far. You know, all joking aside, is like, I'm definitely happy to see him knock down 2 free throws. But even that ability to get to the rim, we're seeing defensively, he's causing a ton of problems with his length and really guarding a lot of smaller players. Actually, he's been, of course, had to guard some post players at times, but he's also very comfortable going out and guarding some of these smaller players and still making things happen on that end.
Gatorezzi, one of the veterans on the team. He's the only third-year player. He was the 6th man on the grade 10 team that won a 4A provincial championship. Last year, led the team in rebounding, scoring.
And that was a smart move to double down. They got him on the foul. Thought he did a pretty good job of just reaching in with 2 hands, not slapping down on an arm and grabbing the ball, but they'll call it. And
corner 3 is up. No good. Looked good for a while there out of the hands of Arciaga. Just a bit strong. Gatorezzi. He'll get doubled. Free throw jumper. Rims out. Melnichuk can't finish. Arciaga. Quick head fake as he looks to move to the left. Popovich finding some room. Falling to the floor and somehow throws it up and in. He went down, but so did the ball.
It's incredible balance and strength to make that one happen as you're falling down.
Some contact. No whistle here. Lords wanted a free throw as Gatorezzi drew some contact. Not going to get it.
Yeah, I actually love that that job by the official there. A little bit of contact, but not everything needs to be a call play on, and it's out of bounds. And a great look here off the baseline, out of bounds, doesn't fall, and now we're seeing St. FX go the other way.
Arciaga. 2:11 to go. Rams are on a run. High double screen. Pump fake by Johnson. Johnson up with the left, it's good.
Yeah, that was a broken play. They did not get set up as they wanted for this baseline screen, but still found the shooter, got downhill to finish at the front of the rim. So good job to capitalize even when things are not going so well.
Gatorezzi puts it on the floor and a tough bounce pass. He was looking to get it to Micah Feta, couldn't find him.
Yeah, you're seeing St. FX start to pull away a little bit. I feel like Gatorezzi's feeling it and trying to make something happen. And I've seen him get into the paint and try to force something tough there. But it's been close for a lot of it. So this 8-point lead feels like a ton. And can definitely see some of those veteran Lords players kind of see it's go time to get back into it.
So we are thinking that the Rams are going to be a pretty strong team this year, but kind of have a mix of inexperience and experience. 4 returners from last year, 2 of them in grade 11, 2 in grade 12, 6 players that are putting on an FX jersey for the first time this year. So pretty new team, relatively inexperienced. But what have you seen from them so far?
Yeah, I think first of all, they've got great size on the interior. I think then they have a great point guard in Elijah Thomas. I think that's a great place to start really at any level of basketball. If the guy that's going to have the ball in his hands a lot is really talented. You've also got some size on the inside. That's a really good place to start. And I think we saw as well, like their half court stuff has been slowed from a really good Strathcona defense, but they're able to kind of punch. And again, when they have a broken play, they still have guys who can be playmakers and put the ball on the deck and make things happen. And it's a team that's maybe plays a little bit older than you think. I'm almost surprised to see some of those grades that you were mentioning. And even hearing people who know basketball in the province, a lot of them have high expectations of St. FX, and a number of people I really respect saying they think that they're the best team in the city, and for them to do that without being loaded with 12th graders is pretty amazing.
Bowen goes up with the right, rims out, and is taken away by Arteaga. Lords had it for a moment. No look pass down low to Popovich. Popovich up with the left, and the Rams have a 10-point lead.
Yeah, great patience by him. Great use of the bump to create space. You don't often see post players this talented at the high school level, so it's been a treat to watch him work.
Micah Feta goes to the ground, still able to get it to Getaretsi. They found an open shot with Castillo, too strong. Rebound by the Lords, and the right-hander no good from Kulovac. Rams looking to extend the lead. Long pass out, intercepted by Micah Feta. Getaretsi going the other way. Wanted to find a lane to the hoop, couldn't see it. And we'll slow things down. 30 seconds left to go here in the first half. Quick move in. Castillo passes up the 3, driving, throws it up with the right, no good. DeSingy pulls down the rebound. Rams with an opportunity for the last shot. Looks like that's what Arteaga wants as he sizes up Castillo. Castillo pokes it away and comes up with the loose ball. Fight for it, and won't be time here for either team. Lords threw it up too late anyways, and that'll bring an end to the first half. St. FX, Eric, running away with it a little bit, 30-20. We've seen it in the first game. It's kind of playing out similar, just a little bit less offense in this one, but kind of tight, back and forth, and then maybe the favorite in the game kind of pulling away late in that first half, but the Lords still well within reach here.
Yeah, 10 points isn't a ton for sure, but it feels like a little bit more when it's 30-20 at the half. Low scoring game for sure, and that again, I think that it was a game that was very tight, and then you saw that punch from St. FX, particularly with their ability to score in transition, and that's been the difference. And I think I can tell you what's going to happen in both of these locker rooms. I think both teams are going to be talking about how can we score, like what do we see in here that's not working, and what can we do to change to try to create some buckets.
St. FX with a 10-point lead is what has been a defensive battle through 20 minutes. 30-20 for the Rams heading into the locker rooms. Welcome back to the Saville Centre Lords and Rams in the 2024 Golden Bear Showcase. Connor Toffin and Eric Fawcett on the call for this IC Live Procast. The Rams, Eric, with a 30-20 lead. Both teams stayed in the locker room for quite a while, and you can imagine what that halftime message would have been in a game that's only featured 50 points total.
Yeah, I think that was certainly notable when both teams weren't out. You normally see at this level guys coming out of the 5-minute mark and maybe getting some shots up. And there's usually a whistle from the official at the 3-minute mark as a reminder that there's 3 minutes left in half, and the rest blew their whistle to an empty gym as both teams stayed in the locker room till about the final moment they could. So you can certainly imagine, like you mentioned, what the focus is, especially here for Strathcona as they try to figure out how they can possibly generate some buckets against this St. FX defense. And while St. FX has had a little bit more success scoring, a lot of it has been their transition offense, which has been great. So I think they'd also like to say, okay, what can we do here against this Strathcona defense? It's been really good, and particularly establish the ball inside to Popovich, who's been so good, and keep up what they've been doing with Eli Thomas.
I feel like it's worth noting the free throws once again as well. I feel like even though there's only been those 50 points scored, we could probably be looking at 10, maybe more points scored in total if we're just getting, more so close to average free throw shooting that we would see later on in the year. And neither team really able to get it going from downtown either in that first half. Rams will take opening possession, looking to extend their double-digit lead. They'll do just that as Popovich, strong spin move in the post.
Yeah, and that's what they're trying to do all first half, get a flex screen for Popovich to get a catch, and Strathcona was sending doubles. They didn't there, and Popovich did amazing to spin off the defense, go to the baseline and finish.
Kulovac, handoff to Gadaretsi, center of the Lords' first half offense. Turn it over here as the Rams take over. Thomas.
Eli calls power that play to post up Popovich, but a nice little counter there. Bowen sets that cross screen, and then he opens up to catch it in the middle of the lane. So nice counter to the way they scored the last time down the floor.
Going to be a foul called on the floor.
Again, this is another play where a guy got in with two hands that I thought was pretty good. And was a good tie-up. They got called as a foul, but those have been consistently called, I suppose.
Thomas couldn't believe it. Long inbounds pass. Settles harmlessly into the hands of Gadaretsi. Kulovac driving in, kick out. Panisar, 3, no good. Long rebound comes out to Melnichuk. Jang into the corner. Lords looking for something on offense. They're going to get it here as Gadaretsi gets the lay-in.
A really nice take. Gets his shoulders past his defender and gives that bump. And a nice backdoor cut with maybe a little bit of a push on the other end, but just as Strathcona scores right back at you from the Rams.
Richardson, first-year senior at FX. Played a couple of years Team Alberta U17 ball. It's made an impact tonight as well. Offensive rebound won't go on the putback attempt. It's like Gadaretsi down there. Quick pass back out, and this time it'll be Toby flying in for the defensive board. Richardson driving, strong move, won't go. Rebound by Kulovac. Gadaretsi defended tightly by Johnson. And the foul on the floor will turn the ball over. It'll go against Melnichuk. Here's Arciaga. Quick crossover. Gets doubled. Pass back out. Is tipped away by Gadaretsi. They'll move it over to Popovich. Popovich working his way to the hoop. Puts it up and good. With the shot clock down. Quick bounce pass, and the foul called against the Lords again. Another turnover. Rams take it up by 14. Micah Feta will check into the game for Melnichuk. Tight quarters here for Popovich. Somehow passes it out to Arciaga with the open three. Can't put it in. Kulovac. Quick hesitation by Micah Feta. Stopped by Desingi. Denied again. And it's taken away by Arciaga before he's fouled. Foul goes to Panesar. Richardson. Quickly up to Desingi. Throw it into the high post. Johnson had it poked away. It'll stay Rams ball. Talk about the scoring troubles. Rams outscoring the Lords just 6-2 here through the first 3:37 of this third quarter. Desingi, kick out. Bowen, the three won't go. Panesar. Jang. Lords got to get something going here. It'll be a three for Jang, won't go.
A decent look from three, but it's just they're having trouble just stressing that St. FX defense and can't really get him in rotation. And you got to think that Strathcona is going to have to try to make somewhat of a push here before it gets out of hand.
Johnson, some contact, won't go. Well defended by Gadarezzi.
Great defense by Gadarezzi, straight up. Doesn't bring his hands down, and now he gets to bring the ball the other way.
Panesar, pick and roll with Gadarezzi. Out of his reach. And the Rams take over once again. Arciaga. Over to Johnson. Bowen. Looking to find someone. Shot clock starting to run down at just 5 seconds. Kick out. Johnson won't go. Rebound by Kulovac. Kulovac up top. Gives it up to Jang. He had it poked away, but a foul on the floor. It'll go to Bowen. Just the second of the quarter.
And we'll get a timeout here from Strathcona, who again I feel is still starting to feel this one slip away, and just getting anything on the offensive end has become such a challenge. And this will have to be a productive timeout here as they just have a couple points well into this third quarter.
You know, basketball is such a fun sport, and I love it because it's 36-22. Rams are kind of in control, but you know, you get a three here, stop three, and all of a sudden it's 36-28 with a lot of time left to play. So things definitely not over yet for the Lords. I expected coming into this game we might have seen a little more of Kulovac. Haven't seen too much of him yet. Really key player for this team. Key player last year for him, and hoping that he was growing even more coming into this year. Strong shooting ability, and had him described as a bit more of an ambidextrous player, comfortable with the ball in both hands. And Eric will see if the Lords can get him going.
Yeah, they'll need someone to support Gadarezzi, who's been really bringing it on both ends. Like, I've just been so impressed with his game, especially in a game where maybe some of his teammates haven't been able to impose themselves quite as well. I mean, he's been guarding the best players on St. FX. He's offensively, he's been someone who's taken the ball on the block and on the perimeter as a guard, and just hope he can get a little bit of support here, but I've been really impressed with his game.
Gadarezzi's been playing a lot of minutes tonight. The only guy in white that was around for that provincial and city championship a couple of years ago. Lords, 3, it's in.
Yeah, so you see the Rams there, they go to a 2-3 zone, which they haven't played the whole game. You know, their man defense is certainly working. I mean, again, this is where you should probably remind, this is an exhibition. You want to get some looks and try out some different things, but obviously their man defense was very effective. They go into a zone, they give up a deep 3, an open one, but a deep one, and they hit, and maybe that's just a little bit of life that Strathcona needed, though they give up a 2 on the other end. That's not going to help.
Bit of luck there for Richardson as he had his first attempt blocked, but came away with the rebound and put it right back up and in. That was Jang on the last 3 for the Lords. Gadaretsy throws it up to Panisar, and he'll touch it up to make sure that the Rams can't get a fast break chance, but it will be the backcourt violation. How much does it play into the psyche for a player when you jam the 3, you keep cutting into that lead, and the other team just goes the other way and scores 2 with relative ease?
Yeah, it can take a little bit of life out of you for sure. But I think in a game like this, making the 3s probably, you know, still is going to be a lot more of a boost. But in a game that's already been a little bit of a slog, now you're seeing the Rams here maybe slow it down even a little bit more with this zone.
Arciaga put down the 2. Quick give, Gadaretsy, bounce pass, and not able to find Micah Feta, who was looking to establish his position down low.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity here for, you know, against St. FX, who could have probably kept in their man and been in pretty good shape in this game. But yeah, utilizing their zone, something they will probably need throughout the year as they go to a lot of tough tournaments, play some tough league games. And as we mentioned, a lot of people think that St. FX is going to compete to be one of the top teams in the province. So you want to get these reps early with things like your zone that might end up paying off much later in the season.
Corner 3 is good. Richardson's taken a few. I'm struggling from deep a bit, but that one will go. And that extends the lead to 18. Gadaretsy stops up. Nice bounce pass. A good find there to Kulovac.
Great poise there from Gadaretsy, and then a nice finish. That's, you know, when you get that ball in the middle of that 2-3 zone, sometimes good things can happen.
Mbachu quickly throws it down to Popovich. They swing it around to the corner, nearly goes, but around the world and out from Arciaga. Will go to the floor, jump ball called. And possession arrow will be in favor of the Lords. Johnson checks in for Mbachu. Seen a little bit of Mbachu tonight. Arciaga, the only other grade 10 player on the Rams. Seen some good grade talent here at the Saville Centre. This one's shipped away. Richardson a 1-on-0, and he'll lay it in. Another tip. Richardson, another lay-in.
He's a one-man wrecking crew at the top of that zone. It's just make it so difficult just for Strathcona to reverse the ball. See if he can get another one. You can see Strathcona much more aware of trying to make that guard-to-guard pass this time around.
He's going to cut up his game film, and people are going to think he's putting it on replay after those 2. Here's a 3 from the Lords, short. Rebound pulled down by Johnson. Fight for the ball, and a jump ball this time. Possession arrow will go to the Rams. Is there something to be said for sometimes not staying in what's working and, you know, not allowing an offense to start to break down your man defense a little bit?
Yeah, you see some coaches are like that for sure. You see it also on the offensive side. Sometimes you see when a coach, when something works offensively, you kind of keep that in your back pocket and don't just run it a bunch to give your opponent the opportunity to beat it. I've always been a little bit of the opposite side where I think you take what's there. You know, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. You run what works, and then you keep going until your opponent adjusts and stops it. But there's a lot of different ways to go about it, and And again, in an exhibition setting, I think it's definitely smart to change things up and get some reps and some different things and get some different guys opportunities to play as well, which we're seeing.
Meanwhile, Richardson has been heating right up in the last few minutes. He's gotten 2 steals, 2 layups, and 2 threes, good for 10 points.
Fouls on offense number 8, Genesis Xavier. Subbing in the game for the Rams, number 7, Joel Berger. Also subbing in the game for the Lords, number 8.
So Strathcona will take a side out. Melnichuk to inbound. They'll sub in Sidhu as well for Kulovac. Gadaretsi, jumper, no good. Rams get the rebound. Arciaga, Johnson, Arciaga, bit of an opening. He'll drive, kick out, 3, Broder, no good. Rebound pulled down by the Rams, no good again. This time it's Popovich, he's denied. And finally the Lords take it out of harm's way. They can hold for a last shot probably if they want to. Instead of mid-range jumpers, no good. And a foul on the floor as Johnson got whacked in the face.
Fouls on Strathcona's number 8, his first personal foul. Subbing in the game for the Rams.
So Rams will have last shot here, up by 23. The scoring is opened up for them here in the third quarter. They came in with 30, and they'll score at least 20, maybe another one pending this possession. Arciaga, open, 3, they'll pass it up, down low, denied at the rim. Huge block at the end for Gadaretsi. As the clock runs out for the third quarter, Rams think there might have been some time as that ball landed out of bounds. And it looks like they will reset it to 0.6 seconds.
Yeah, 0.6, you can actually still get a shot up if you're quick, and definitely, you know, a tip or something similar. So,
quick 3 is no good.
Get a look at the corner end and set up by who else? Gadaretsi. I've just been so impressed with this game in a game that, you know, you could maybe find a little bit frustrating for the Strathcona side, but Gadaretsi still giving it on both sides.
So that will do it for the third quarter. We got 10 minutes left to play. Rams in control, up 50-27. Welcome back to the Saville Centre. 50-27 is the lead for the St. FX Rams. Connor Toffin joined by Eric Fawcett on this IC Live Procast of the 2024 Golden Bear Showcase. Rams are showcasing pretty much everything here. They pulled away in that third quarter. They are playing elite basketball at this point. And I think it says a lot about a team when, you know, you score 30, you're struggling to put the ball through, and you go into the locker room and come out and break out for 20 in the next 10 minutes.
Absolutely, some great adjustments there. They came out with a different defensive look and turned things around there a little bit and created some transition opportunities. I've been really impressed. And this past weekend, I was in Lethbridge. There was an NCAA basketball event there, and while I was there, I was able to go to a couple high school games, which is just incredible in Southern Alberta. They have such amazing atmospheres. A couple of high school games that had a couple hundred people at each of them, and community members with no ties to any of the players that just came to support and love the game. And that was cool. But a lot of people that, you know, really knew high school basketball, they're all asking me, like, hey, have you seen St. FX yet? They were like, have you seen them play? Like, do they look good? And and they all were kind of convinced that they were one of the best teams in the province. And at the time, I'd say no, I haven't seen them, but I'm going to see them soon. And now I am really seeing why a lot of people in the know see them as one of the top high school teams in the province. And again, even a team that isn't quite fully healthy yet, forcing a travel here, and first possession is, and we'll still have some talented players here still join them as the season goes on. So again, I think we are getting the full Rams basketball experience, and unfortunately, it looks like Strathcona might be on the tough side of that one so far this season. But definitely still a treat to see a Rams team that's performing at a high level.
Tried to get it to Tesfasalassi in the corner. Couldn't quite handle it. Eric, it feels like basketball just continues to grow and grow and grow. You know, hockey used to be so dominant here in Canada, and, you know, it is still our sport, but it feels like, you know, you look at the national program here and you look at how many guys in the NBA alone are starting to become stars, and there's more always on the way right now. It feels like basketball just continues to grow and grow and grow here in Canada. Obviously, a lot of it, I'm sure, has to do with the Raptors and the success of, you know, the national programs. But here in Alberta as well, we're seeing more and more guys go down, you know, play high-level programs here with the Golden Bears, but also go down to the States and play in some Division I colleges.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you also see there's so much more club opportunities. Again, it's like a lot of these, St. FX kids play for Weba, and a lot of the Skona kids are playing for Next Gen, and a lot of the O'Leary kids are playing at Good Hoops. And again, you're even just seeing a lot more opportunities where guys are looking to play at a higher level outside of just scholastically in the winter, and that speaks to the game growing. And I mean, hey, what are we doing right now, Connor? We're talking, we're talking with a game that's being, you know, really professionally produced here and giving a showcase to high school basketball, and that simply wasn't happening, you know, 5 or 10 years ago. So I think that also speaks to the growth of the game, and it's wonderful to see, but still plenty more it can go.
Nice three made by Sidhu before Thomas got the lay-in on the other end. You know, I just feel like compared to even probably to when you and I were growing up, you know, the NBA has always been prominent here in Canada, but especially as the Raptors continue to grow. And it felt like, especially after that Raptors championship in 2019, popularity in Canada for the game took just another spike. And we're starting to see kind of just the effects of that. And it's so good that, you know, these school programs are continuing to just build and build and build. And, you know, we have some really good teams here in Alberta, but we talked about it last game. For as much good teams as there are, you know, a team like O'Leary, they haven't won a provincial recently, and they've had some really good players. They have another good one this year that's probably going to go to a Division I in the States, and, you know, even they're struggling. Even for a team like the Rams, that's a good sports school, you know, and they won last year, but they can't put together back-to-backs or anything. You know, sometimes we see that in other sports.
Oh, I mean, transport one of these teams to that you were just talking about to, you know, 2011, and they're probably a shoe-in to win 4A provincials, and you know, you're seeing all kinds of teams with this kind of talent, and that speaks to the level. And again, as once again, St. FX creates an easy layup. Strathcona is going to call a timeout and see if they can close this one out strong.
They're just continuing to grow and grow and grow. This is a Strathcona team that has been getting better and better in recent years. They struggled for a long time, but the hiring of head coach Dane Owen, they've been consistently in the rankings for the last 7 years. Obviously, we talked about it. They won that Metro City Championship. And their first provincial championship, Eric, a couple of years ago, since 1957.
Wow. That's got to feel good. A little bit of a drought there, but man, I mean, talking about provincials, I mean, when you're a school from Edmonton, with all due respect to a lot of the other great 4A schools, again, like I mentioned, there's some tremendous ones in Southern Alberta that I just saw and some great ones in Calgary, but I mean, often when it comes to Edmonton, I mean, your zones just to qualify for provincials are honestly going to be more competitive than even some of the teams you're going to see at provincials. It's an absolute gong show. That'll be that's something that I think just again speaks to just how difficult it is to win coming from Edmonton. Is just it's very difficult to qualify for the provincial level, much less go on and win that.
Strathcona has been picked to co-host with Harry Ainley for the next available 5A provincials. So some teams looking to build and build and build. Popovich quickly kicks it over to Tesfalassi. Try to go back to him in the corner, but is intercepted here by the Lords, and interception going the other way for Richardson. He's played a really good game tonight.
It just seems like every time Strathcona throws a pass, I'm like, where's Richardson at?
Yeah.
Like he's going to find it in the air. He's just an absolute ball hawk. And anytime there's any bit of air under that ball, it doesn't matter where he's on the floor, he seems to come find it.
It's almost like he's playing strong safety right now.
Absolutely. It's just waiting to see a pass with a bit of air under it, and he's taking off.
It's always different, too, when you see these guys in person. You know, basketball players are going to be a little longer, but you just look at the wingspan of Richardson, and you can see why he causes problems for opposing offenses. Thomas makes the layup. Rams up 56-32. Six and a half minutes to go. Dalawalt. Quick dish over to Kulovac, falling away. Can't get it to go. Thomas puts it in again.
See that big Euro steps changing direction, stays balanced, gets the middle of the lane.
Three the other way for the Lords, won't go. Thomas going to the hoop once again. This time he tries to kick it out, but Dalawal's there. Did what Richardson's been doing all game as the pass was on the way to him. Castillo. Absolutely pressured by Brodeur. They'll move it to Dalawal, falling away, shooting. Good touch on that one, but a little short. Popovich delays, quick kick out to Richardson, and now back out to Thomas. He'll slow things down. Probably has to catch his breath a little bit. He's been running all over the floor here in the past few minutes. Corner three, no good from Popovich. Halfway through this fourth quarter. Panesar, he'll get fouled. Popovich will pick up the foul. Obviously, in a game like this, you know, the energy maybe in the blowout here has went down a little bit, but this is, you know, I don't really feel like the intensity on the floor has died by any means. This is still some valuable minutes here for these players.
Oh, I think so, and you know, these are all guys that have played together or played against each other for a number of years. Again, like I was mentioning, now that everyone is playing club, or a lot of these players are, a lot of them play against each other in the summers as well, and I think there's some bragging rights there, and I also think just guys that are still cherishing the opportunity to play on the U of A court here at the Saville Centre, and I think everyone's still excited to get 4.5 good minutes of basketball in here, even if the game might be all but decided.
I think a lot of players, this is a nice lay-in by Tesfalassi. A lot of players and a lot of coaches will take it back to just basketball is a fun game, so why wouldn't you try hard, right? This is the moments that you cherish when you're older, you look back on them. You never want to look back on those moments and say, oh, I could have tried a little harder and scored 2 more points.
Oh, well, and again, now that I, you know, coach professional basketball, I'll often get asked to come talk to high school teams, and one of the things I always say is, like, man, these years are going to go by a lot quicker than you think. The seasons are going to fly by faster than you think, and all of you will look back on this time wishing that you could play one more high school basketball game. And
yeah.
While this isn't your, you know, prototypical playing at home or at the road, I mean, hey, this is pretty cool stuff to be playing. And you know, if I had the opportunity to talk to any of these guys, not that I think they need it, they're playing competitively, you'd be like, man, I think you'll look back and you could, you know, wish you could play another 3 minutes and 51 seconds on a court like this and have that opportunity. So it's good to see that a lot of the guys are still, again, playing hard. Don't need that pep talk, but that's the thing about high school basketball. It's the best, you know, sporting years of a lot of these guys' lives. Even if they go on to play at higher levels, it's often not it's not the guys you might have grown up with, or you know, the guys you go to all your classes with in the same way that if you play post-secondary. I mean, these are special times, and yeah, hope these guys are, you know, taking advantage of every second. We do see Eli Thomas checking out, could be his last minutes of the night. And same thing a little bit for some of the starters over here on the Strathcona side.
I feel like as well, when you're a good team, there's also just something to be said about not letting off the gas pedal. You know, this is a 60-34 game, and it would be fair to say at this point, Lords aren't coming back, but there will be a time in this season where the Rams are going to be playing an opponent where they're up by 15, maybe more, and you know, with the 3-ball and its integration into today's game and its growth in today's game, leads are erased quicker than ever. And in talking to a couple coaches, they've talked about how, you know, up by 10, up by 15, up by 20. There's just no lead that's safe in basketball anymore when there's any sort of time on the clock.
No, I mean, just before this game, after the first game of our doubleheader, I was talking to one of the University of Alberta assistant coaches. They had a loss this past weekend where they were up 25 in the second half. And not only were they up 25 in the second half, with just a couple of minutes left in the game, their opponent emptied the bench, and it was their, you know, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th guy on the bench. And you know, U of A thought they were waving the white flag, and that lineup of guys that were just, you know, supposed to play out the rest of the blowout hit a bunch of threes, and it was back into it. They put in their starters, and U of A lost that game. So it's just another example too. Of course, that's slightly different level than this, but man, you never know. And with the power of the three-point shot and threes that are going to fall probably a lot more than in a you know, gym setting like this that we talked about, that can be a little challenging for players. It's no lead is safe. That is for sure in basketball, and nowadays with the pace and the shot making from three.
Gateretzi laid it in. Got a good game today for the Lords. We've been talking about him a bit. He has been a bright spot for sure. Rejected. Lords send that one back. Go to the hands of Tesla Selassie. Long inbounds pass as Mbachu has to reach out for it, and as the shot clock is expiring, didn't get out of the hands of DeSingy before that buzzer went off.
Yeah, extension of a really good possession there from Strathcona. Of course, ended with the shot block, and then there was only 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and Rams couldn't get anything up. So again, you're still seeing good competitiveness here from Strathcona. They go back to this little Princeton offense they were running early in the first half, and they get another good look out of it.
And talking a lot about the Rams, and you know, they have played a good game. The Lords' defense has still held them to 60.
Oh, the Rams are going to hang a lot more than 60 on a lot of really good teams this year. So that's something that, again, when you look at this from a Strathcona standpoint, they've got to be really happy with the way they defended. I do think they really slowed down the Rams in a lot of ways. And when you look at it, too, a lot of the Rams' points were in transition because Strathcona's offense wasn't particularly smooth tonight. So I think if you're, you know, Strathcona, you can definitely say, hey, we guarded at a high level tonight. You know, do we need to improve things on the other end? Absolutely, but certainly the defense is something they can be proud of.
This is a nice move by DeSingy for the Rams. Going the other way, Gateretzi tries to lay in. Good defense there from Mbachu. Quick kick out from him, finds undershoot, and tried the reach around pass there as he got it into DeSingy, but it goes off of him. And it'll be Lord's ball. Just 67 seconds left to go in this game. Castillo quickly moves it over to Sumit Dalawal, getting some minutes late in this one. Seen Prabshan Dalawal quite a bit tonight for the Lords. Nice find late in the shot clock, and Lords not able to make the three. That was Dalawal. Broder on the give and go. Now undershoot in the corner, and he'll travel. Whistle blown here with just under half a minute left in this game.
Got one more good possession here for Strathcona.
Sidhu moves it over to Gateretzi. Steps back, Sidhu again. Nice make there from the mid-range as Sidhu will end the game strong for this Lords offense.
Yeah, he took advantage of his minutes at the end, had the big block on one end, then hits the smooth jumper, and that'll be it for this one.
So that will do it. Be sure to stick around. We'll have some players of the game. Rams win 62-38. Had 30 points at the half, exploded, really pulled away in that third quarter. Things really opened up for him in that third frame, and within those 10 minutes, they scored 20 points and didn't really have to do too much. Only scored 12 in this fourth quarter, but it was more than enough for them to pull away with the big win.
Yeah, the 20-point quarter is a big one in a game that was so tough to score like this. So, again, awfully impressive job there from St. FX to really make adjustments out of the halftime, using that time in the locker room. Again, we talked about how long it took them to go out to how much time they spent in the locker room. Didn't go and get extra shots at halftime, used the opportunity to really lock in on what they were doing schematically, and really good job by the players to execute. A lot of guys that were playing free and loose and were very effective in the second 20 minutes, and that's why we turned into a score that was much more lopsided than we would have expected from the first half.
So it'll be Owen Gadaretsi getting the player of the game for the Lords. I don't think there's any argument there.
No, not whatsoever. And again, he was someone who was in it right until the end, playing those final minutes. Thought he played great. And on the other end, Richardson, of course, someone whose name we said a whole lot due to his defense.
So just a great night of basketball tonight. Those two guys competed hard. Richardson as well, just on both ends. Remember those 10 points he pretty much scored almost on his own in the third quarter with a couple steals mixed in as well. Eric, it's those kind of nights that you'll remember on this court when you go back and you look at this years down the line.
Absolutely. Both those guys can be real proud of how they played. And Richardson, again, when he was getting points within the flow of the offense, and when he wasn't, he just went and got themselves on the defensive end. So really excited to get the opportunity to watch these guys around the city, and especially as they continue to work towards their ultimate goal of competing in both the cities and hopefully the provincial level.
So two good games tonight. First one a little bit tighter than the second one. If you missed it, Spartans did end up beating the Titans 77-69. That's off of memory, so I hope it's right.
Nice.
I hope it's right. And then the Rams in this one winning 62-38. But ultimately we talked about these games, and while they don't count towards regular season standings, these showcase events can sometimes hold a little more meaning than those regular season games sometimes as well. It's a unique experience in a game like this. Like we have talked about all night, you get to see these guys get to show off their skills to U of A talent, U of A coaches. They get to play in the gym that they're, hoping to play in more in the future. And it was a really good showcase tonight of basketball in Edmonton and just kind of where it's at.
It really was. We got to see some of the top teams in the province, some of the top players in the province. We got to bring it in a very professional setting here with everyone here at the gym and the production team as well. So, yeah, really just a great day for basketball in Alberta.
And just kind of, we've seen some elite teams doing battle. We're early on in the year. So let's talk about the two winners. Let's talk about the Spartans. Let's talk about the Rams and just how good those two teams played tonight and how they'll match up going down the road into, eventually both teams hoping for championships, whether it be at the metro level or the provincial level.
Yeah, well, I think when you look at O'Leary, you see a team that was very disruptive with all the different zones that they could play, all the different defensive looks, and that kind of length. And then I think we saw a St. FX team that's maybe a little bit more polished on the offensive side and plays a little bit more of a ball movement style. So, man, when they play, I'm going to have to go find out and go watch that one. There's no doubt.
So that will be it from the Saville Centre in the 2024 Golden Bear Showcase. In our second game of the night, it was the St. FX Rams taking down the Strathcona Lords 62-38. It's been an absolute pleasure from Saville Centre. Good night, everybody.